Richard Pitino, you are a Big East coach, a head coach in the Big East. If I had told you that when you were at Providence College helping Tim Welsh out, what would you have said?
It certainly was a dream of mine, and I think my career has taken so many weird turns geographically. You know, you take a job in Miami, then you go to Minnesota, then you go to New Mexico. And I always thought, okay, if I have the opportunity for a good Big East job, like, I'm going to strongly consider it. And, you know, we had a couple really good years at New Mexico, and I'd gotten a lot of calls, not necessarily offers, but a lot of calls. And some I was interested in. Most of them I was like, no, I'd rather just stay in New Mexico. But it's just kind of like anything else. When it feels right, it feels right. And Xavier felt right.
What about Xavier made it feel right?
I was not going to be able to leave New Mexico unless the place I went had a passionate built-in fan base. I will do it, but I don't want to be the guy that begs people to come to games. You know, and we have that at Xavier. You have an on-campus facility, state-of-the-art, beautiful, and, you know, they sell out every game last year. So in the changing landscape of football, to have a place that needs basketball to do well, that meant a lot to me.
Look, there are big expectations there. In this ever-changing climate and world, I know it's a day-to-day process, but how much do you believe that Xavier has the tools to get to where the fan base and everybody around the program wants to? I'm not saying this year, but
Yeah.
in your time as coach, to get to a Final Four?
Well, it's never been more evident of who's invested and who's not. And it comes down to NIL and rev share. There's no more hiding anymore. When you say that, you know, we want to go to a Final Four, it's very simple. We explain to them what the cost of doing business and the cost of winning is. I think our people really want to win at a high level. I think they're very willing to work their butts off to get us what we need. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're going in the right direction, and I believe that everybody wants it. But you just look at football right now. You look at these schools that were traditionally not very good now are in the top 5. And it's because of those resources. So we've got a place that really cares. We really do. And, you know, I do my very best to not complain, but to educate them as best I can.
How many questions do you get per day about a member of the family?
With the media, a lot. You know, my favorite one, I don't mind answering questions about my dad. My favorite one is, what's it going to be like when you play your dad? And I'm like, well, this will be the 5th time I've played my dad. You obviously don't know that. But no, I mean, I get it. You know,
Also, if you played him one-on-one, you would win.
I don't know if
Today?
I would anymore. I would hope I would, but I think we're both getting a little old. But yes, if I physically played him, I think I could get him. We're pretty both bad in golf, so that's an experience as well.
Yes, it's not your first time playing him.
Yeah.
You've done it 5 times, right?
Yeah.
I had one of those games last year. Describe the theater of playing him, and is it true that he lied to you the night before the game last year?
Well, he tried to lie to me. I knew I wasn't going to believe him because it was the most obvious lie that he was doing. I think he said that Kadari Richmond wasn't going to start, and I was like, yeah, and I just, like, if you saw the Vice thing, I totally ignored him. So I'm used to that song and dance with him. I mean, it is definitely weird being in the same conference with him. Like, I was legitimately sitting outside of this hallway waiting to do you, and he's standing, he didn't even see me, and I'm like, Dad, and he's like, wow. You know, so it's that part's weird. You know, I tell the story, the first group chat, head coaches group chat that I get from the Big East, and I get the thumbs up from Shaka and the okay from Shaheen, and Kevin Willard says okay, and then all of a sudden you see Dad in the chat, and it was almost like back in high school where, like, he broke up one of your parties in the basement. I'm like, why is he in the chat right now? But it's fun. I mean, it really is a lot of fun.
Did he ever break up a party in the basement?
No, he was never there. Yeah, that was more my mom.
Now, your mom, when you've played your dad, she does not sit on her husband's side.
She has the greatest line ever. you're my blood. He is not. So she will be rooting for Xavier. The rest of them probably not, because they all want my dad to like buy things and he can buy them off. But my mom will stay true to Xavier for sure.
You have one of college basketball's best names, All Right, and he's better than All Right. What can he be for this basketball team?
The best part about All, besides his name, is he really believes in himself. You know, he's got that fearlessness. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of his good games are on the road. Similar to a Jalen House type player in the sense of he's fiery, he's emotional. You know, obviously had a really, really good year last year. Was dinged up a little bit with a back issue, but he could put the ball in the basket, and when healthy, he's a really good player.
You redid this entire roster. What went into identifying the pieces for? What do you look for when you go into the portal?
Well, got the job, and the team meeting was me and one other player, Roddy Anderson, who didn't play last year. So I think the first thing in the new world that we're living in is, all right, how much money do I have? And then you try to put together this roster. You know, you can do it kind of bottom up or top down, whatever you want to call it. And obviously, when you only have one player, you need to legitimately build a whole team. So it wasn't going to be a lot of high school guys. We did take one. But, you know, you try to kind of, as best you can, project, okay, he'll be a starter. This is what we're going to pay him. He'll be a backup. This is what we're going to pay him. And you try to make it fit. It's not an ideal circumstance to build a championship roster. You need retention. And that's what we're working on, obviously, moving forward, is to create this culture that people want to be a part of and they get better from. But, you know, you need, because I played my dad's teams, I know the standard, the size, the physicality, the toughness. Like, you better be able to do that. We played Marquette last year in the NCAA tournament. So it was good from that vantage point to kind of see what they have and then try to put our roster together.
What was that game and moment like against Marquette?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, New Mexico's never been to a Sweet 16. So to be there and obviously, you know, to beat a really good Marquette team and then play a Michigan State team, you know, we were right there. We were up at halftime. I was proud of our guys. I was proud of New Mexico is kind of like this forgotten state a little bit. And then to have our basketball program put that amazing fan base on a national map was really cool. So that was special, came up short, but it was a really fun team to coach.
You've said your coaching style is different than your dad's.
Yeah.
How so?
He looks like his eyes are going to pop out of his head when he coaches. I don't do that. He's able to do that. I mean, honestly, he does not actually yell and scream as much anymore. When I worked for him for the 3 years, I should have worn a helmet because the amount of things that were thrown at us. He's calmed down a lot. I just I can't emotionally think while doing that. I mean, I have certainly my moments. That's the skill that he has. He's able to kind of stay in the moment. I would say I'm a little bit more, I don't know if cerebral is the right word, but certainly not as emotional in the game as he is.
Last year, he is on The Tonight Show, and he's in a music video with his players singing a song. How much do you guys talk about that? Did it come up in a group text?
Yes.
Did the grandkids get involved with this?
We made fun of him a lot for it. But it was also really, it's, you know, as much as we make fun of him, like a lot of kids do their dad, to see him at 73 living his best life is really cool. Didn't mean we're not going to make fun of him about the Jimmy Fallon song or anything like that. But, I mean, honestly, you know, I came back for a Yankee game a couple weeks ago, playoff game, and the amount of love that he's getting, that's, you know, although he's had an amazing career, we had some hard years there. And to see him grind through kind of the Louisville ending, going overseas, coming back to Iona, and now he's in a really, really good place mentally, and he's having a lot of fun. So, yeah, we tease him, but it's really cool to see.
New Year's Eve, we at NBC have your showdown with Connecticut at the Cintas Center. It'll be a rockin' New Year's Eve, indeed, when Coach Hurley's Huskies come into town to take on the Musketeers. What do you expect that scene to be? How much do you relish in an opportunity like that?
A high level of respect for what Dan Hurley's done. They are the standard. He's an amazing coach. But I also know, similar to St. John's, you don't beat that team unless you physically bring it. They're going to make you earn every single point. So we're going to need all the help we can get from the amazing Xavier fans because we know it's going to be a great challenge.
They might have a beverage or two ahead of the 5 o'clock tip.
Yes, and then hopefully I have a happy beverage afterwards, not a sad beverage. I'll probably do either one, and I'm hoping it's the first one.